again. It happened again. Tottenham Hotspur. It happened again. Another lead thrown away. Another game where Tottenham cannot get over the finish line. I have to say, at this moment in time, Egal appears to be right. Why do Tottenham keep crumbling? Why do Tottenham keep falling by the wayside? One win in their last 6 Premier League games, just 2 wins in their last 9, and it's another lead thrown away, reminiscent of the Wolverhampton Wanderers game. And in fairness, when you look at the overall performance of this match, possession, pretty equal. Chances, pretty equal. This wasn't one of the teams in the title race, Tottenham, versus a team in the relegation zone. 15 shots apiece, around 50% possession each. Chances created, 12 chances created tonight by Fulham and only 10 by Jose Mourinho's Tottenham. They convinced... I don't know what to say. I'm asking you the question tonight. Viewers tuning in, why are Tottenham throwing this away? Spurs fans, 4 or 5 weeks ago, you were telling us you were happy. You were telling us you were over the moon with the way Jose Mourinho is playing football. But as I say, and I repeat, that's 2 wins in your last 9 Premier League games. You were in the title hunt. You had 2 of the most productive players in the world creating. But when Son and Harry Kane are not on form, who else is doing it for you? And how, at this stage of the season, are Tottenham being outplayed, outcreated, and outgunned at home by Fulham? And if man like Camara had any vision at all, I mean, he hasn't got to be like Legolas and have foresight, but just some kind of vision, bruv. Stevie Wonder level vision would have done him tonight. If he'd have played in Lookman there, they could have lost the game. 2 opportunities towards the end. He also had the fullback as well, the wing-back, fullback, Robertson. Spurs nearly threw the whole game away. It's embarrassing. I think Spurs fans around the world are going to feel absolutely embarrassed tonight. What do you do if Son and Harry Kane can't score or create? Why do you keep throwing away these wins? And it's only 2 in 9 now. 2 in 9. I know you're in the semi and you've got to win. I keep telling you, mentality. Jose Mourinho has got to get a winner's appetite instilled within this squad because you are crumbling again. The inevitability of a Spurs crumble and maybe a Spurs bottle is there. Do me a favor and hit that like and share button. We're going to start getting the panel on very, very soon. We had a super chat that came in here. I want to read this out. It says, Tottenham are truly bottle jobs. Listen, I know we often throw that around as a bit of a joke, but it's becoming real. Orlando here says, Egal vindicated. I mean, not going to be funny. In the last 9 games, I swear Tottenham's form's worse than Arsenal's. Grey Wolf Dinner says, when I said Tottenham would finish below United, I got laughed at. Bruv, I probably did the laughing. I'm that shocked with how they're performing tonight. But I want your views and opinions. Comment here says, oh, where's it gone? Where's it gone? I wanted to read that out. And then my screen did that thing where it shoots up. It's here for one of my members, Mr. Gang, says 6-1 equals United first, Tottenham 6th. I like that. Well done. Well done. People call him Meyer out in the comments. I don't know where any of the Spurs fans are. Eleanor won't turn up. Eleanor ain't coming. Alex won't turn up. I doubt Meyer will be here. Josh ain't been here for weeks. Have you noticed that Josh was on every stream? Josh was on every stream when Tottenham were in the title race, when they were flying high. Ever since. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Can't see him. We've got 4 proper members of the Football Terrace that are legitimate Tottenham Hotspur fans. I'm going to quote Delia Smith. Let's be having you. I want to see. Come on the show now and talk about your team. Don't sit at home crying, boo-hooing. Don't tell me you're busy either. At 10 past 10 at night during lockdown. None of you are busy, bruv. Got nothing to do. Nothing. So get yourselves on now. I want to hear from you. We're going to get David on in a few minutes. The 4th official here says, you know, it's peak Jose when Fulham are out playing Tottenham in their own yard. Bruv, listen, I'm not one that normally talks about a lot of that stuff on this channel, but you're right. It stinks at the minute. It stinks at the minute at Tottenham. And I want to hear from true Tottenham supporters about how they're thinking, how they're feeling. Like I said, that what we're talking about tonight is why do Tottenham keep throwing this away? One. Secondly, Spurs need more than Son and Kane. They do now, and I see that. Top 4 race or title race, which of the two are Tottenham in your opinion? Smash the like button. 2,000 people tuning in live right now. People say bring on expressions. Listen, I can't just bring expression. I can't imagine magic expressions out of thin air. If Expressions wants to come on and have his say, we're here. But I'm saying it tonight. It's another game. It's another game truly, truly bottled. Truly, truly bottled by Tottenham Hotspur. Just after they get themselves into a final as well. The embarrassment. The devil's advocate here says, bottle job FC. I bet Alex is gassed his team haven't got pressure anymore. I bet he has. I bet Alex is actually celebrating. A comment here from Alexander says, Lee Gunner wants Mourinho. Ha, ha, ha. Lee, okay, geez, I didn't know. He had an alcoholic, bruv. Jesus Christ. Just because a man has a drink, don't make him an alcoholic. It's a weird notion. I think we've become very Americanized in this country. I was over in the States doing some work once, and we got into this bar at like 4 PM, and everyone ordered food, and I ordered a beer with my food, and I got this dirty look. I said, what? They said, oh, yeah, you got to wait until at least 6 PM around here before you start drinking. Otherwise, it's frowned upon. Bruv, I gagged the beer, I ordered shots as well. I'm like, bruv, I don't care if I'm in America. I am English. It's what we do, bruv. Simple and as straightforward as that. Romario here says, Terry, how can we get on the panel? I'm a Spurs fan. We're going to open it up to the audience very soon. We've got to get past 1,000 likes first, so and share this on your social media platforms. But I want to hear from you in the comments. What's going wrong? Shane here says, Fulham play good football and create great chances, but foul to convert. They don't have the quality of player. Like that was Ivan's actually one of my old clients as well, actually. It's his first goal in open play for over a year, 110%. Stephen here says, Alex will be happy. I bet he will be. I'm going to get David on now to chat about this game. Remember, why do Tottenham keep crumbling? What do they do without Kane and Son? And are they in the title race or top 4 race? Let's do this. Yes, David. Tottenham, I mean, I cannot believe they threw this game away. I truly am shocked they threw this one of all games away. What went wrong for them tonight, and why do Spurs keep crumbling?
I actually don't know. Today was a weird one because it's not like Spurs didn't create chances. They just actually had like an oddly poor night of finishing, which is weird to say about Tottenham because all this season it's been about them finishing their chances. And then they kind of not really opened up, but surprisingly, considering the way Mourinho plays, they were a lot more open considering it was 1-0, and Fulham just exploited it. And it was shocking. And if Cavaleiro had a pair of eyes that worked, they would have lost. Like on that chance was so gaping. I was like, how have you not just passed the ball? Like it's such a simple thing to do. And if Loftus-Cheek was looking good today. He looks like he's finally getting his feet back and becoming more confident with it. But again, if he was a bit more confident, could finish, they would have lost that game as well. And it's weird. That was a weird one today. That was weird.
Comment here says, did we lose this game and we still in it? But Dyer, my days, is not a defender, can never jump when it counts. Listen, I don't necessarily listen. It was an outstanding cross. I actually think the goal in isolation, I felt Sergio Aurier was a little weak with the defending, but it was an amazing cross with wonderful whip, great jump. That isn't the issue. This is a team Spurs' team is worth £800 million in the market. You've got one of the greatest managers of all time as your coach. You're up against Fulham in the relegation zone with young up-and-coming manager Scott Parker. Conceding the goal isn't the issue. You were 1-0 up after 12, 13 minutes. You didn't put them to bed. If you go back and look at a lot of the games that Spurs haven't won, you think about the West Ham game, you think about this season, the Newcastle game this season, the Wolves game, the Liverpool game, the Palace game. You go through all those matches, there's 5 or 6, where you should have at least walked away with a draw in the Liverpool game, but you should have won all those matches. You were in front, You were dominant. You had leads, but you didn't put it to bed or you collapsed at the end. And do you know what? If teams keep getting last-minute winners like Liverpool did last season, late goals to win games like Man United are doing this year, you start to say that isn't luck. It's about perseverance. It's about never saying die. It's about, maintaining focus until the 96th minute of the game. If you keep throwing away leads, that becomes a habit. That doesn't become, when they did it against Newcastle, everybody said, yeah, well, it was that handball gave it away at the end. That's the reason. There was a little excuse. Well, they missed 4 or 5 gilt-edged chances. They almost did the same thing against West Brom, not for a last-minute winner. This is not the first time Spurs have thrown things away, but the majority of these collapses have come in the last 9 games. So yes, you had a little bit earlier, and then they got into a good run, and they've just thrown it away again and again and again. In terms of Son and Harry Kane, I mean, they do well on the counter. The Spurs, outside of them two, there is no creativity in this team. Do they need to buy players, or do you think this is more a Jose Mourinho tactical issue?
I mean, they were playing Sissoko right wing today. I mean, that's when you know that it's looking ropey. I mean, I don't know what's happened to Gareth Bale. Well, seemingly it's like the guy can't stay fit. Honestly, like how we were all so like gassed at the start of the season, like, oh, this is gonna be the guy. He's gonna make Tottenham, like we were all lied to. And it's just it's quite, I'm obviously a Chelsea fan. I don't want Spurs to do well, but like everyone wanted to see Gareth Bale like at least be somewhat of what he was, and he's not even getting game time. Like Sissoko's playing right wing, and like Højbjerg's a weird one because like, yeah, I get what he does in the team, but like he's kind of he played the ball for Region, which was good, but again, like in these sort of games, he's kind of like Jorginho, where it's like it's cool he's there, but is he the right kind of midfielder you need to break a team down like Fulham? Like I reckon he's more a situational big, when you're playing a big 6 team, that's when you need a Højbjerg. But today they needed someone who could actually like split the lines, because they were making chances, but Fulham were able to get back because of the type of chances. It was like crosses in or cutbacks where they could get a centre back in front of the ball. Today was a time when they just needed a simple through ball, and then Son could get on the end of it. They did that once today, and then and Son hit the post, but all the other ones were crosses in. And to be fair, Areola did make like 2 really good saves. Really good, but
and that's the thing. Son hits the post, which, just for anyone who's wondering, is off target. Harry Kane missed a point blank header, which he should be scoring. A man of Harry Kane's quality, I don't care. Like, I was listening to Ali McQuist trying to give him excuses. No, it's a poor miss. If Rashford had missed that, which he did a few weeks ago, a point blank header from 5 yards out, the world laughs, and Harry Kane deserves criticism for that. Son, for me, yes, it was a great save by Areola. However, like you bury that. So they had 3 other gilt-edged chances to put this game to bed, and they didn't take them. But the only thing is, if it isn't Harry Kane or Son, it's literally, I'd love to see the statistics and look at how many players in the Premier League outside of Son and Harry Kane have scored or assisted their goals. I mean, Harry Kane's got 11 assists and 12 goals. So that's probably like 50% of all their goals and assists already gone. Son,
they scored 30 goals this season. If Harry Kane's contributing to 23 of them, like it's pretty bad.
All of his assists are to Son, so Son goals. Yeah, so it's terrible. So more super chats. Abdullah here says exactly how United keep losing their leads under Jose, not a new thing. Do you know what? Maybe I stand corrected on that. Like a few weeks ago, I was talking about a happy Jose Mourinho is a dangerous Jose Mourinho, and I really looked at Tottenham and I saw a potent, purring team. I don't actually think it's overtly the tactics, though. Abdul here, partly, but I honestly think it's a bad bottle with Tottenham. As soon as you start putting them in title race, tonight was again. I think everybody's ignoring Man United at the minute, and I mean that with respect. I think everyone's looking at United as being there, but everyone's anticipating us to fall away, and I understand and respect that. Spurs had an opportunity tonight to go within a point of Liverpool again, who are still the front runners, who are still the bookies' favourites, and they should be. And as soon as it's still, I don't want to be there. What will happen is Spurs will be out of it. They'll end up being like 7-8 points again behind. And they'll go on a little run again and get themselves in a point or two. And as soon as people say Spurs are back in it, they go, the arsehole goes. And it's over. It's honestly, it's a mental block with this team. And that's why the likes of Alex have got to learn that until they develop this winning mentality, and they want it in the same way Maya does, in the same way Expressions does, in the same way Nuri does, who all contact this show, it's never going to be there. They'll lose Harry Kane. That's the thing they want to be fearful of. Harry Kane is going to leave if they don't improve. Jerome here says, just like David just said, David just said it. It was not the Spurs did not have any chances. It was just a weird game of poor finishing and ball hitting the post. It is not a collapse. Ndombele was good today. Listen, you had some good individual performances. I thought Reguilon looked sensational. I think he's an excellent left back. Ndombele, great. But it is a collapse. You threw away a lead in the burning embers of the game against a relegation struggle inside. And it isn't the first time you've done it. For me, listen, I respect you, regular super chatter on the channel, my bro. But for me, that's a capitulation. Again. And
was Spurs' midfield today? Højbjerg, and Ndombele.
And Winks.
And Wink. That's got no creativity in it. Nothing. Ndombele can like dribble. He's a bit like Kovacic, where it's like his final ball's not the best. And he's not really a goal scorer.
But this is where I'll just put it back on Tottenham fans. They were coming on here 2 weeks ago. And I know Maya said this, talking about how he's as good as, if not better than Pogba, saying he's world class. So you can't be a world class midfielder and not be able to pass. Like, I think that's a prerequisite of a midfielder. So what is it, Tottenham fans? We're going to open the lines up to let you all come and have your say in a few moments. But for me, yeah, I think this is more of a mentality block than anything else. Anthony Jones here says, let Spurs do a Spurs and let Harry Kane come to United. Listen, everyone, listen, I'd love that boy at Manchester. You can imagine him in an attacking team that wants to.
I don't want to.
Imagine him in this Man United team this year.
You know what the funny? It'd be disgusting. Do you know what the funny thing is? It is a fully a Spurs thing because in 11 days, Pochettino's already won a trophy. It's already a Spurs thing.
What did they win?
They won the like a Super Cup thing in France.
Can you imagine?
He beat Marseille 2-1, so he's already got one trophy.
I didn't realize that. I didn't even know. That's a quick look at the league table here. Spurs were literally sitting in third until that goal from Ivan Cavaleiro, and then now in sixth. I mean, yes, Chelsea are in ninth. That's maybe
10 points off the top.
That's one little saving grace there. But you see that Tottenham were third. They sniffed the top of the league again, and in typical Tottenham fashion, they just crumble by the wayside. Why is the big question, though? Speaking of why, we're about to get cooler on the show. We're going to get Alex on with us now. Alex is here. Alex, your team throw away another lead, 1 win in 6, 2 wins in 9. Why do Tottenham keep crumbling in these games, and why are you struggling to win in the Premier League? What's going wrong?
Well, firstly, I just want to address your comments about us being title contenders. I've said to you before, we're not title contenders, so I'm not going to listen to that anymore. And I don't want to go on about it anymore because we're going to go on about a second stream about that already. Secondly, I mean, I didn't like the team in terms of I didn't understand why Sissoko was playing. I can see the logic a little bit, but I think you could have had a much more attacking player. I mean, I don't really like Moira down that side because I think he works well with Vinicius because he likes a tall striker up front. I think he's better there. I do give him credit because he played Sanchez again. I do like him, Ben Dyer. I mean, I think Fulham were better than us in terms of they had more of the play because, you know, they had more of the play. And then we seemed to got into the game more. And then straight away after that, we got the goal. But we didn't really push on. Yes, Son did miss a few chances. I do say that, but I can't really have a go at Son because Son's been really good this season. But the thing I didn't like is what we've been doing, and I don't know whether it's because they're too worried about losing the goal or anything like that. We keep going back, keep on falling back, and letting the opposition have more of the ball, and Fulham had too much of the ball, and you could see a goal was coming. And the thing that really annoys me as well is that when Fulham scored straight away after scored the equaliser, we suddenly want to attack. And it's really, that's the annoying part. But I mean, we just got to forget about today and just move on to the next game now. So. You know, it's just what it is at the moment.
Alex, I let you speak, but you didn't answer my question. Why do you keep throwing away these games? You've won 2 in 9. What's the overarching reason, in your opinion, that you can't see these games through? It's not the first time this season that you've been leading and and a team equalised. Why are you not killing these games off? Is it tactical? Is it a mental block? Why? Because this is becoming a habit. This isn't a bad run of form now. This is almost a habit, like biting your fingernails. What's going wrong at the club? We're not talking about tonight in isolation. Overall, 2 wins in 9 for a team with 800 million pounds worth of players in valuation and one of the greatest managers in the history of the game. Why are you struggling to win against these teams?
Well, like I said before, it's not just a mental block. It's the way we're playing. You see, why are we always letting them having the possession of the ball? You see, I'm not going to kill off the team. I don't know why we're not doing that, but I don't know why we don't push on and try and get that second goal or third goal and try and kill off the team. You see, because Fulham had more possession of the game, and it was in the first half as well, which I noticed as well. That's why I said to you, because you said you did a text in the group chat saying, "Oh, Harry Kane has scored." I said to you straight away after, I said, "I'm not happy with this performance." Like I felt in the Leeds game, and like I feel in the Brentford game. Ironically, during the Brentford game, I actually fell asleep. So it's just like it's just how we play.
Let me cut in there. So, are you blaming Jose Mauricio's tactics?
No, I'm not. I can't really blame.
And what? So again, I want to get to specifics here. I like specificity. So it's not a mental.
Yeah,
block.
but what you want me to say?
No, I want you. No.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
What you want me to say? What you want me to say is you say Jose's this, Jose's that, Jose's this. I don't want to say that because at the moment he's our manager. Okay, he believes that he wants to keep it tight. Okay, and don't want to let in any goals. Fair enough. That's a great tactic. Okay. What my issue is that we don't seem to push on when we don't take, and it's an issue. It's going to be an issue because it's showing against Leicester. It's showing against Leicester because when did we? No, Terry, let me finish because I know you like talking. I know you like talking, hearing your voice. So let me finish. Right. What I'm saying is that it's an issue when teams go ahead. Okay, what happens when we go ahead? You see what I'm saying? And also, there's another thing as well I need to say as well. No, I need to say this. I've got a lot of things in my mind. I know. I want to say this. I want to say this. What happens when Kane and Son are not playing? No one tells me what happens when Kane and Son are not playing because they seem to be the only players that are scoring the goals at the moment. Okay, I'll get onto Bell because I've got things to say about Bell as well. Because I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things about Bell, and I'll say what my piece about Bell, okay? But no one's telling me what do we do when we don't have Kane and Son playing, okay? And also another person as well, Højbjerg, okay? What happens when they don't play? You see, that's why I'm saying that we're not title contenders because that is not a squad, Terry. Okay, so there's a lot of issues there still for us until we address them.
Okay, Alex. I tried my best to let you finish, right? You said a lot of words. There was an awful amount of vibration coming from your K-Cole, but you didn't answer a question. You've moaned about the level. I've taken notes here. You spoke about not being happy with the level of performances, the way that your team basically sits back. See you later, mate. The way your team sits back behind the ball when you go a goal up. You don't feel there's a plan when there's no Kane or no Son. Who's to blame for that? Why have you won 2 in 9? You're being very.
You can't blame anybody, Terry, because the thing is, it's just the way it is at the moment.
So nobody is to blame. There isn't
no,
one.
You can't because no, Terry. But why are you looking at the blame? Why are you looking for somebody to blame?
Alex, let me finish. Either what is to blame, and therefore who is in charge of that? Who is accountable for you throwing away all these leads and for you only winning 2 of your last 9 Premier League games? Somebody has to be accountable. Players.
Well, everybody's accountable, Terry. Everybody's accountable.
Everybody.
The manager and the players. You can't just blame.
Alex, stop. So what you're saying is it isn't the tactics, it's the execute. If it's everybody, that means it's the execution of the tactics then, yes?
Yeah, possibly, yes. But you can't just blame just one thing.
You don't need to blame one thing. I'm not asking you to blame one thing, Alex. I'm asking you to give me the reasons. You just say things like, I'm not happy with the performance. That doesn't mean anything.
Well, it does mean something because I'm saying to you, I didn't like. I was very unsure
What
about the
about it
performance.
needs to improve? So what players need to improve for you? Who ain't pulling their weight?
I think that, like I said, I'm not going to just pull out players like that because that's very unfair. What I would say is that the team as a whole just need to improve, and I mean,
Harry Kane needs to get better.
No, Harry Kane. No, I'm not going to point out Harry Kane because Harry Kane's been very good this season.
Okay, so who hasn't been very good in your first team this year?
I mean, like I said, I'm not going to pick out players like that because I don't do that. I think the whole it's a team game, okay?
It's not, not the player's fault. It's not the manager's fault.
No, but Terry, your outlook is take on one, just put it on one player and say, "Oh, he's rubbish, he's rubbish." No, that's not the way. That's not the way football is. Okay, no, but that's not the way football is. Okay, the way football is, Terry, the way that football is, okay, is that it's all about a team. Okay, and you can't just blame it on just one individual. Okay, so mistakes do happen. Okay, but you can't just blame it on one thing.
This is the best super chat I've ever had from Mark. He says, "If expressions is Superman, Alex is Clark Kent."
You just don't want to listen to me, so I don't really care anymore.
Listen, the problem is I hear words. I don't hear any points being made.
What do you mean hearing words? I'm actually talking sense.
You're not talking.
I'm not talking the natural rhetoric that people say. Oh, let's blame Aurier. Oh, let's blame Sanchez. Oh, let's blame Reguilon. Oh, let's blame Kane because Kane and Son are not very good at the moment. I'm saying the team as a whole are not very a team who's not very good today.
Why are they not good?
Because they're not attacking more. They're not taking on. They're not actually going ahead and trying to attack the spaces and trying to do that.
Is that their choice or is that instructions by the manager? So it's either one or two things. It's either they're not following the manager's instructions, they're trying but they're failing, so they're not performing well enough, or the manager's tactics are not working. Which of those three things is it?
I don't want to say the tactics are not working because the thing is, I don't want to say
Alex,
that.
This is the problem, Alex. You keep telling me that I'm not listening to you. The reason I can't listen to you is because you're not saying anything.
So you're saying to me that you're saying to me that I should just say, "Oh, Jose's tactics is not working."
No, that isn't. I'm not telling you to say anything specifically. I'm asking you to tell me the actual reason that you think it isn't working. You are dancing about, mate. You're beating around the bush because you don't want to be honest. You're acting like Ty from AFTV.
No, I've been honest. I'm being honest.
We're going to get Maya on the show now. Maybe a Tottenham fan that will actually give us an opinion. Maya's here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get her on the show now. Maya, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Another poor result in the Premier League after a really good week in the domestic competitions. What went wrong? I've asked everyone this question, like, what went wrong tonight? But why do you keep throwing away these leads in the Premier League?
I think maybe in answer to what you've been asking Alex that he hasn't really been giving you a straight answer for, I think it's a combination of things. I think all the things that you listed as options to Alex, it's a combination of. I feel like the players on the pitch need to take a bit of accountability because, for example, if we're taking an isolated game such as tonight, the players' performance weren't good enough. But then you also have to look at a combination of Jose's tactics as well, because we didn't bring on a sub till we conceded and we just couldn't get a foot in the game. I think there's a lot of things that come together. And I feel like when you're asking Alex as well, give me a player who hasn't performed this season or who hasn't been pulling their weight. I think what I found with Tottenham and watching Tottenham is that we have games where every player plays well. And then we have games where the team plays poorly. There's few games where our defence is poor, but Kane and Son are great, or Kane and Son are poor and our defence is great. I feel like front to back, we either have a good performance or a bad performance, which is why it's difficult to pick out one bad player, because at points this season, Son has been terrible. Tonight, he's been terrible. But at points, he's been the best player in the league, arguably. And you could say the same about Aurier. At times, he's looked like a really good, improved, solid defender. But at times, I think, Jesus, it's the same old Aurier. So I think you can't just look at Spurs and say we need to, one area we need to improve on, which if anyone follows me on Twitter, they would have seen. I do think just generally down that right side, we need to strengthen in that forward right wing position. And Aurier's improved this season, I can't lie, but if we want to push on to win big trophies, then we need to be strong in either our right wing back, full back, however we're playing, or our right forward player. We need at least one of them to be able to put in and match the deliveries that we're having from the left. So if I am going to pick out any particular part of the pitch, it's going to be that right side. But I don't think that at any one time Sissoko's playing badly or Dye's playing badly. I feel like I've watched Tottenham and we either play bad as a collective or we play well as a collective.
Do you know what I want to say?
Which is what I just said, by the way. I just said that.
Alex, that isn't what you said.
I just said that. I just said that it's a collective. That's what I just said. And you said to me that I wasn't talking.
No.
So I don't understand what you're saying there.
But so you're missing a key component here. Maya gave direct reasons. She blamed elements of.
That's what I said. I said you can't blame
Alex. Alex, you're gonna make me explode if you keep interrupting me. You asked me to give you an explanation. I get 3 words in, you jump in. So Maya answered the question. I'm not asking anyone to ever come on the football terrace and blame one singular person. Why? I don't do that. As a collective rule, the manager was bad here. McTominay was poor in this moment. This guy had a great game. That's how I do things. Maya said it straight. There are elements where players have got to take responsibility. I know we overarch that and call it bottling. I think there's a mentality thing where you've got to kill these games off because it's becoming a habit. Definitely.
Okay.
Maya criticised Jose Mourinho's tactics by making a substitution too late. You should have made more of an attacking substitution to kill this game off earlier. That's blaming something specific, but not blaming the whole result on that one issue. Spoke about individual poor performances tonight. Just by saying Son had a bad game tonight isn't singling him out and acting like he hasn't had a great season so far. Alex, it doesn't make you less of a Tottenham fan to say Aurier was really poor tonight and that defending for that goal could have been a lot better. That's all I'm asking for you to do is be honest with who had good games, bad games, what went wrong. It isn't to give it an overarching stamping your seal on an opinion that has to stick with you for the rest of your life. No one's asking you to do that. You're not on oath here. You're not going to go to court or to prison if you get something wrong. Just speak honestly, bruv. You can't do it though, because I get why though. You're just like Ty. You're just like Ty. I know Ty well. You feel like if you criticize anything really, unless it's a big overarching, I think everybody was bad. You feel like a bad fan or something. I don't get it, bruv. Because for me, there's lots of things that were wrong tonight, and there's been lots of things that have been wrong in these games where you've only won 2 in 9. But it doesn't mean you're a bad team. It doesn't mean you've got terrible players. Because I didn't think any one individual player in your team tonight was that awful. Like awful. I thought there's some average performances. I thought Reguilon was amazing tonight. I thought that Højbjerg and Winks, I thought they held the midfield pretty well. You just didn't finish your dinner up front. So I would still look at Kane and Son as the not the biggest issue tonight, but that was a problem. And then outside of those two, Tottenham need to address that because your backup to them are simply not good enough at this level. And the Lamellas have been here forever. I don't think Bergwijn's ever going to make it in the league. He just looks too lightweight. And I think Maya's right. Something around the right-hand side of your attacking element needs to be worked on and addressed massively.
Well, okay. I understand what you're trying to say, okay, but it's not as simple as saying that, really. I would say that, yeah, it is frustrating. I think what Mourinho said at the beginning of the summer, it's correct. The squad is still a puzzle at the moment because we've got players like Ali on the bench, and I was talking to my dad about it. Where do you put him? Because the player that you've got to replace him with is Ndombele, because he plays in that sort of position, doesn't he? You can't play him out wide, can you? You see, Moira, for instance, I don't like him on the right. I don't like him on the right because when he runs, he's got his head down and he just runs and runs and runs. He's better with a tall striker up front. Bell, who I think was desperate because I don't know why we bothered with him, to be honest with you, out of respect, because he was fantastic when he was at Tottenham before, but I thought it was a desperate signing beginning-wise. And I've said this on the We Are Tottenham TV if you want to look at that after the Southampton game. I said, why do we need him? You know, because he's lost he's got no pace. Does he press? No. So where does he fit in? So we just, I do feel sorry for Jose because I don't think it was his signing. I think it was Levy signing to appease the fans. So it's a lot of elements there which are still willing, trying to figure it all out. Where do you fit Winks? Where do you fit Sissoko now? And what happens when Hoiberg's not playing? There's so many elements.
You're making some good points there, but that's down to your manager. That's on Jose Mourinho with his expertise and his experience as a coach. The majority of them players you mentioned, I think Bow's over the hill. They're quality players. So it is down to your manager to be able to fix that. Zane says, Alex, why don't you use Air Force One to park the bus when Trump leaves? Zane, welcome back. I miss your chats. I don't often mean anything. One here for Maya that says, hi, Maya. Hope you're doing. How are you doing tonight? I hope you've eaten today. Is that in reference to something?
I hope not.
Okay, cool. I thought maybe you tweeted saying you were hungry or something, and something. Like I have no idea. I just thought, okay, maybe you'd get it. Alex Clark, thank you for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to us. It does. We're going to get Mark Edmond on the show. Mark Edmond's here with us. Seen Tottenham throw away more points from a winning position. Give me your views and opinion, Mark.
Terry, what can I say? When you're favourites and you fail to get it done, it's a bottle job. That was a big one today. They were there and about against a London rival, a game they want to win anyway, and they weren't there. But there's levels to this. Forget bottle jobs. Spurs bought the cow today, mate. Respect to Alex and Maya for showing up, but their fans are on milk cartons at the moment. They are missing FC, mate. Harry Twinks, that man went heels up for Anguissa so fast it was embarrassing. Fulham were just the better side. They were like the home team, and that was a shocking performance from Spurs. They should have won. They needed to win, and they didn't get it done. And I bet you Jose's going nuclear out there at the moment, and he's about to ruin some players' confidence. You know what the man is like. I personally think Spurs do have a mentality problem, and it goes a lot deeper than just, this goes on year after year down there. It's a serious problem. And, I think when they looked fate in the eye, they sacked Poch, who was getting the job done. And Jose's undoing a lot of his good work, The moment when things were a little flat for Poch, they threw him under the bus. And, I'm sorry. I just think Spurs, they got it wrong there. And there's a mentality problem down there. I think you're absolutely right. And I think, sorry, mate, I reckon you're a great guy, Alex. You're very likable, but I think you're in denial, mate. I think you're doing the ostrich number and you're just putting your head in the sand.
I mean, Spurs fans can reply to anything that Mark said there. I'll leave it to yourselves.
Can I just respond to that? I respect you, mate. I respect to that. I do respect your opinion, but I'm not being in denial and stuff like that. I actually have been very, very real about Tottenham the last couple of months. Especially when we were top of the table. I said that it still was. I wasn't liking the performances because I felt that we were very lucky in certain performances like West Brom, Burnley, and I think it was a paper of a lot of cracks really. And we still haven't answered questions about whether when Kane and Song are not playing, what happens. I do respect what Jose's doing. I think he's got to tune out the defence. I think the issue of the centre back pairing is still an issue. I don't think all the variables
Alex, we have heard all already.
When you say that, though, I've got to ask you one thing. When those players are playing, you're still not getting the job done against a team that's in a relegation battle, like Arsenal light, Fulham, they're legit cellar dwellers, and they shouldn't be bossing you. They bodied you at home today, mate.
That's what I said.
With them there, mate.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and that's
what
I
happens
said
when
before.
They're not there. I tell you what happens. I already know. You get punted. You get pammed, bro. That's what happens.
Yeah,
Mark, thank you. Thank you for coming on the show, mate. Having your say. We're going to jump on some more callers now. We're going to get AJ on. AJ's a Tottenham fan. AJ, welcome back to the show, young man. I want your views tonight on what went wrong tonight specifically, but we've asked everyone this question. Why do you keep throwing away these leads? 2 wins in 9. What do you think the problem is right now?
It's a collective problem. It's not just Mourinho. It's not just the players. Like today, I blame Mourinho for not bringing on Dele Alli and Gareth Bale but I more blame the players today because we had, before Fulham scored one, Son and Sissoko and even Harry Kane, they had about 4 or 5 chances between them to score before Fulham got one. And Sissoko, I don't expect much from him when he gets in the box, but he got in the box so many times today. If Dele Alli or Gareth Bale came on, I'm pretty sure one of them would have scored one chance he had before Fulham got one.
Yeah, that dribble in it was literally a minute into the first half, was it? When he
was an Ndombele when he did that, and then he realised he was Sissoko and he didn't shoot.
I just want to say what you said about what is it, Dele Alli. I think the problem with Dele Alli at the moment, like I said before, where do you fit him in? You see, because unfortunately, you can't put him in Højbjerg or Winks' position. You can only put him in Ndombele's position. Okay. And he hasn't got pace. That's the thing. He hasn't got pace. And also, Kane does his position now because he comes back, doesn't he, now? And you've got Son who goes forward because they work well together, don't they? So that's the problem with Ali. I'm surprised that Moira wasn't playing, even though I don't think he's good on that right side. And that's it. So,
I think he's been good.
Maya, what do you want to say?
I think that for me personally, as much as we definitely, a bit like Alex said, we definitely have recognised Dele Alli's best position, and it is in between that 9 and that 10. He still, for me, is an extremely fluid footballer. He can drift out, he can cut in, he can work along that front line wherever he wants. He can drop in. I think he is very, very fluid, and I just feel like, in a game like today, I don't feel like Bale was the answer. Bale has looked a lot off the mark. He's looked very slow. And in a game like today, it's not what we needed. I think Lamela was the perfect sub. Lamela, Lucas, or even if we were to bring Dele Alli on, I'm not going to say he would have injected that pace and that spark into the game that we needed, but he can inject that creativity fluidly across anywhere in that diamond area. And I think we don't know what's going on with him, whether he's going to leave, what's happening. But I think in a position like we were in today, what's the worst that can happen by throwing him on and just letting him roam anywhere and see what he can do?
Well, I could answer that question.
Alex, 1 second. I want to add to that, and you can go. When I would have made that, I would want my manager making that decision and doing exactly what Maya said when you're 1-0 up 60 minutes in, because you're playing Fulham at home. If you take off Harry Winks, you wouldn't take off Højbjerg. I think you take off Winks and have 2 more attack-minded midfielders on. You should still have enough to beat Fulham. You're playing Fulham. If you were playing Man City, if you were playing Liverpool at home, I totally get why you wouldn't do that. For me, that is a Jose Mourinho mistake. And how do I know this? He did it at Man United for 2.5 years, and it's one of the things that absolutely infuriated us as a team. It really did. Alex, go on. Go, mate.
Sorry, Terry. I totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, the whole rumours about Ali at the moment, from what I understand, right, is that they're going to have a conversation with him. I don't think he's going because he's a homegrown player and it makes our score smaller. Okay, so I think he's stay because we can't get to bits of him, can we? Because he's a foreign player. We've got too many foreign players. So for me, I think it's an issue of positioning, and that's why he's not playing at the moment. I think you make some very good points about Lamela, even though I think Lamela's frustrating for me because he gets injured a lot of the time. And I think at the end of the season, I love him. I think he's a great player. He's so tenacious, but because of the foreign player issue we've got, I think we've got to let him go. It's so bad. I don't really want to say that.
Alex, be a great player.
No. I'm not saying he's a great but I'm just saying maybe my words wasn't right. I was saying that
you like him, and I get that.
He's a good tenacious player. That's what I'm saying.
AJ, thank you for coming on the show, mate. Really appreciate it, young man. Take care of yourself, buddy. Next up, we're gonna have Rome. Rome's disappeared. I can't see him. He's gone off camera. Are you coming back, Rome? He's back. There's Rome. What you saying, Rome?
Yo, first I gotta talk to the Tottenham fans, bro. Like, you man brought on Jose Mourinho to play this type of football. You knew the type of football Jose Mourinho was going to be playing when he came in. You know this was going to be not the pragmatic football that you used to get on the pitch, not the champagne football that expressions like to talk about, but the park the bus mentality that these man has. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Even my son is complaining about Jose Mourinho, and he's 2 years old because of the type of football that this man is playing. I ask myself a lot of times, like, what exactly is going to happen to Tottenham? Are they really going to be winning this league with that type of football?
Little man.
This man name is Zidane. Say hi to the world, bro.
Hello, little man. Good.
Yeah. So honestly, it's never going to work with Jose Mourinho. And Terry, you know this as a Man United fan, right?
I disagree. I disagree because Jose Mourinho won a trophy at Manchester United. I think the difference is you're talking about the defensive park the bus mentality. That is a completely singular mentality, and in another entity we have a winning mentality. You can have park the bus mentality and winning mentality. Jose Mourinho won a Europa League at Manchester United with this football. He's won it. He's won trophies everywhere, and he plays this style of football. I think he's instilled the first mentality into them, which is the park the bus football, because we've been playing that all season, but we haven't yet got that final spark in the winning mentality. We've got to a League Cup final, great, but we still haven't won it yet. We're dropping points from behind. I feel like they're two different mentalities, and if he were to get the latter of the two and get that winning mentality instilled into them, you can have the two mentalities and work together succinctly. But whether he can do that at Tottenham, who knows?
I think also it does help that there's no fans at the stadium as well, to be honest with you, because I know Tottenham fans. I've been there. Okay, I've been there, and if Tottenham are playing this football and Tottenham fans were in the stadium, I know they'll get frustrated, very frustrated.
Yeah,
so it does help them.
Yeah, but
in the stadium.
So it helps not having them.
Having them at the moment, yes, because they would have been very frustrated watching that. I know Tottenham fans have been very frustrated.
I think the frustration that fans would display would motivate those Tottenham players to give them a kick up the arse, because I'm not being funny. 60 minutes, at 70 minutes, at 80 minutes today, I still didn't see maybe a slight change in the pressure, in the press from Tottenham, but it still wasn't amazing. If we had the fans behind us in the stadium today, I really do think there would have been a surge in the last 30 minutes instead of the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, but Mayor, what I'll say is that I say that because I know they get very, very frustrated because they'll direct it at Winks. Winks is an easy target. They'll shout at Winks. I've heard lots of times. Yeah,
Winks
they'll have a go
at 60. Winks and Sissoko, so they wouldn't have.
Yeah, I know, but they'll have a go at Winks. They had a go at Dyer when he was in midfield, because I was at the stage and they had a go. They were saying awful stuff about Dyer.
Dyer hasn't been in midfield for all season though, and
exactly.
the defence necessarily played poorly today. If I'm being honest, I mean the goal wasn't great, but
I'm sorry, but aren't you guys worried because that what happens to Mourinho at every team that he goes to happens to Tottenham prior to him winning you a trophy? What I mean is, it always goes to shits in the second year of Mourinho's tenure at every team. He did it at Real Madrid. He did it at Manchester United when he started slacking off his players. If you guys get one or two more bad performances, aren't you scared that he's going to go in the press conference and just start lacking off these players? And before you know it, it's all gone to shits again at Tottenham.
Well, I'm not worried. I'm not worried because Daniel Levy wanted it. Daniel Levy wanted it. Daniel Levy's been wanting him for ages, this guy. So as far as I'm concerned, if he gets top 4 and a cup this season, okay, at least top 4 this season, I think it'd be absolutely over the moon. Absolutely over the moon as far as I'm concerned. And that's why I stick over for him.
Rome, thank you for coming on the show, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it. We'll do one more.
By the way.
We're going to get Nuri on, who's a Tottenham fan. Nuri, welcome to the show. Before I go to you, bro, super chat here from Jerome that says, Maya is the voice of reason because every time Maya explains the situation, he calms down on the banter. Maybe. That's actually quite true, to be fair. Nuri, what you saying?
You know what? I'm going to try and be as unbiased as possible. Like we always say on this show, it's always good to always not to forget how good Fulham played, and that keeper was immense. Like literally all the attacks that we pulled through, he just literally found a way to stop it. And you know what, hats off to him. I think he played at PSG before, I think, if I'm correct or not. But it just seems like the way I was speaking to my dad about it during the game when we were 1-0 up is like when the problem with Tottenham at the moment is when we're keeping the score at 1-0, even a team like Fulham, the teams that are struggling, they're gonna get the confidence, yeah, and that's when they are gonna build on. And that Lookman, that Ruben Loftus-Cheek, they are absolutely immense players, absolutely immense. And it's just this is what we got to sort of learn now. I mean, I don't know if they will take it or if they are learning it at the moment, but we need to learn to kill the games off. And like I was saying to my dad as well, is if we do get that second goal or you get the second, third, that's it. Fulham are dead. Yeah, any team you play, if you are like we shut down. I know it's only Marine, but once we shut down Marine in the first half, they didn't come back. They could have attacked. They could have done something. You know what I mean? They could have got a goal. But at the end of the day, we need to learn now as a club. We've got the win, like the pot bus, as Maya said, but we need that edge. We need that thing of where we just cut the game off. We just kill it off. But it just seems like I don't know if we'll do that under Jose. I mean, I love him. Again, I mean, I support him. I'm not either in or out at the moment. But at the end of the day, we saw it against Palace. Or was it? I think it was Palace went 1-0 up, and we just sat back and they equalised. But it's just, I think, to be honest, as far as today as well, I don't think we played that bad. I mean, I said Sonny was on form. We had Sissoko had a good couple of shots, and Dombele, I thought at first half was good. But it just seems like we're lacking that sort of killing that game off, these sort of games off. And I just don't know what it will take to maybe Dele Alli might help us. And I love Ali, to be honest. I'm one of his biggest fans. But when he does sort of mess up and he doesn't look like he wants to be here, then it's just like, well, what do we do with him?
Do you know? Yeah, I mean, listen, I hear a lot of what you say, and I agree with what Maya said earlier. I think it's a mentality thing when it comes to Tottenham, because when nobody was talking about you, it seemed to come easy. I think there is some pressure that's applied each and every single time you sort of get up near the sort of towards the top, whether it's going towards the top of the table, whether it's going into finals of competitions and stuff and the like. There seems to be there's an expectation for you to win. Interestingly, you played Leeds in the previous Premier League game, and a lot. What's going to happen in this game? Because Leeds attack.
Yeah.
Tottenham have been on a bit of a poor run, and you absolutely slapped them. And I almost feel like because there wasn't an resounding sort of expectation that you must win. And I do think if Jose can get that mentality right, it will help. The only problem you've got, I haven't read it yet, but there's a lot of stuff trending on socials that he's come out tonight and gone after players and gone after defenders, attackers, and basically just blamed his team. And some people might agree with his words. I suppose the problem with Jose is he has a tendency, if he's not happy, to become a little bit nasty in press conferences. We've seen, especially in the modern day world. I personally could take it. I'm a little bit older, and my bosses have said bad things about me my whole life, and I've kind of ignored it. The younger generation seems to be a little bit softer, a little bit wetter, and they melt a little bit easier. So I don't quite know what he said, so I'm not going to speculate. But there's a lot of headlines saying it was one here that says every word Jose said on Tottenham's defending, and he's failing attackers tonight. And it's just sort of like trending in all these different posts. So it'd be interesting to see what he actually did say and whatnot. But Nuri, thank you for coming on, having your say, mate. I really do appreciate it. I want to ask Alex and Maya one last question before we end the stream. Do you see yourself, I'll go to Maya first, do you still see yourself being involved in this title race, or do you think the top four is more realistic?
I knew you were going to ask that. I just knew you were going to ask that. Because I'm not like embarrassed to shy away. And I think I saw a comment earlier about me saying something about how Tottenham were the next best thing since sliced bread after the Arsenal game, because at the time we were very, very good back then. Like and I tweeted about half an hour ago or just before I came on, were we actually that good back then, or were other teams just struggling? Who knows? Because we were top of the table for some reason. But yeah, it must have been because we were playing well back then. In terms of being in a title race, I personally don't think Tottenham are in a title race. I don't think there's even a title race at the minute. Obviously, there's a race for the title, and Liverpool are up there, United are up there. But in terms of teams being split away in their own little group up at the top, battling out for the title, I don't think that's formed yet. I'm not saying that Spurs are going to be in that group anytime soon, because if we carry on playing like this, then we won't be. However, obviously there's games at the weekend, first place, second. If a result comes off there where teams drop points, City are now got games in hand. Anything can happen, and there's a lot of time left. I do want to leave it until the end of January before I start making, before I start stating my expectations for Tottenham come the end of the season. I do think that top four, no matter what, is a must for Tottenham. I think that when you have a partnership like Kane and Son, for you to not be finishing in the top four, and if we keep them fit, for us to not be finishing in the top four would be a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. So I think at minimum top four. I'd really, really, really like to win this League Cup, and not just for the sake of winning the League Cup, but for everything else that comes with it. But if we're talking in terms of the title race, I don't think there's a race on just yet. Let's hold off for a second. But there are teams that are up there.
Yeah, I hear that when it comes to the title race. I mean, it's been spoken about a lot recently. I think because we're mid-Jan, normally we're getting towards 24 games by this point, so we're a little bit deeper into the season. So I think that kind of happens. I kind of agree. Like everyone, I think I'm putting City and Liverpool in the title race because I think they're going to be, because I think they're going to be in it. I won't commit to Man United being in it yet. I want to see a few more games sort of progress. And like you've said, all it takes is for it to click again and for you to go back to where you were a few weeks back, where you were scintillating, you were excellent, both going forward and at the back. You win 3 or 4 on the bounce, and you're right back up near the top again. It's that quick and easy at this moment, because I think 10, 11 points separates first from 10th. So it really isn't a great deal of difference. Yes, Alex, you need to go to the toilet.
No, I don't. I'm just getting frustrated hearing that. Mine sums it up a little bit, but I would say I don't agree with her in that sense. I don't agree with her. But I respect you, but I just don't agree with you. And I definitely don't agree with you. I don't agree with you, Terry. Definitely not. What I would say is that
Sorry, stop.
I do agree with you in sense of
stop. What don't you agree with?
What I'm just about to explain to you. What I'm saying is that I do agree with you on the sense of the minimum requirement is the top 4. Okay, a cup, great, fantastic. I think it's not just about Kane and Son though. I think it's about the whole squad, because unfortunately we can't rely on Kane and Son.
I'm not saying we do, Alex. I'm not saying we do. All I'm saying is, if I'm looking at it from an outsider's point of view and I see a team, say I'm not a football fan, but I just know that Kane and Son are the best strike partnership in the Premier League, I'm expecting that team that they're in to be in the top 4. That's the minimum expect. I'm not saying that we have to just look at Kane and Son and think it's all about Kane and Son, but I'm saying when you have 2 players who have been performing to their level this season, if they're in a team then that don't finish in the top 4, you've got to sit back and think, shit, what went wrong? Because they had Kane and Son. Do you know what I'm saying?
I agree with you there. I think in terms of this season, yes, I totally agree with you. Minimum top 4. And if a cup, that's a bonus for me. And I have to always say it's a bonus. The key thing for me is Europa League. Now, if we can win Europa League, that for me changes Tottenham's outlook completely for me. Now, can we see other squad members step up? That'll be a key thing as well. And so to answer your question on the title race, no, we're definitely not. I've said always not in that title race. We've got to take each game as it comes, and then we have to see what happens. Top 4 is a must, though. A top 4 is a must.
Yeah, and listen, I suppose my view is this. My opinion is, I agree. In all banter aside, with the Liverpool Man United conversations going on, let's wait another 5 or 6 games before we start talking about who actually is or isn't in the title race. I still think Tottenham could be in the title race. I'm always going to poke fun. Listen, a few people in the comments are like, "Oh, Terry, shouldn't poke fun at rivals." Yes, I should. That's my job as a rival. If you're not poking fun at your rivals, you're not a I know everyone gets triggered by saying this on socials. If you don't try and wind up your rivals when they lose or drop points, you are not a fan of football, please leave now. Because this game ain't for you, bruv. Like, it ain't for you. Imagine that. I'm not going to tease my rivals. Do you know? This is sport. We're not talking about politics or, your country's just gone into recession. Everyone's starving and we're laughing. This is a football team losing a football match. Like, it's a game. Like, we're having fun. So I will. But I think you could still pull yourselves into this title race because I said earlier after City won tonight. Everyone's up. That's it. They're clear. Did you see how many chances Brighton had? No one for me yet this season has played good enough football consistently to run away with this title. So it can open up and anybody can slide into it. There's no doubt about it. But the clear favourites are the two teams that have dominated the league for the last 3.5, 4 years. So I think that's fair to put it on them. Top four race, I think you will be involved in. And you as Maya said, you have to be. It isn't just with Son and Kane. It's with the overall quality of your squad. And Mourinho. Like, you've got Jose, and the expectation needs to be there. It really
players will leave as well, mate.
Sorry, guys.
Players will leave as well, Terry. Players will leave. You see, Reguilon will leave.
And Harry Kane threatened you with that in the summer very, very publicly that he wants to start winning. But as Maya said, if you can bring in a League Cup, go deep into the Europa League, I think that will make Harry Kane stay because he loves your football club. Igal, we've got a minute to go before we have to end. What do you want to say quickly, bro?
Maya,
you're going to say it, but go on, say it.
Maya, I think it's time now. You can say it. You're not going to win the league, and it's okay.
Igal, I'm not too sure if you've been listening to the stream, but I mean, it's nice that you've come on as an Arsenal fan to banter us Tottenham fans. I don't really know where you are in the league, so I'm not going to take what you say too much to heart, but I know you're somewhere below us. Listen, Igal, mathematically, Tottenham can win the league. We've been top of the league at one point this season. There's how many points, as Terry said before? Look, I'm not sat here saying we're going to win the league, but I just know it pains you to accept the thought that there still is a slight possibility that it could happen. And that's fine. That's on you. That sounds like a you problem. But if we're talking about us, it can still technically happen. I'm not
okay.
One
second, Alex, 1 second.
Can I just say something though?
No. 1 second, mate. 1 second, mate.
You're directing it actually anger at Maya. You're directing it anger at Maya.
No, because you never said to me that it's ridiculous for me not to think that you guys are in the title race.
Let her believe in it. She believes in it.
There's nothing wrong with her. I commend her for having the positivity.
Gentlemen. Let me just say this. Firstly, Maya doesn't need you to fight her battles, Alex. She's more than capable. Secondly,
no, I've just been.
The reason you didn't need to do that because Maya didn't succumb to what Igal tried to make her do. She answered eloquently and very well, actually, and it left Igal going, I don't know what to say now. You didn't need to then jump in and I'm going to be the man here. I'm going to be the man and shout.
Alex, no,
I'm gonna defend my. You know what, Terry? Whatever you say, mate. She's a fellow Tottenham fan, so I'm going to respect her. Like, I don't need to agree with people, Tottenham fans, but they're Tottenham fans. Respect them, and that's what I do.
Alex, do you respect me?
Sometimes, but the thing is, Terry, you've allowed me on the football terrace, so I have to respect you in that sense. You know what I mean? So that's why I respect you.
But that's not actually true. My only rule for coming on here is you respect the platform. You don't need to respect me. You don't slag the football terrace off. That's
I'll never do that.
I have.
Can I say one thing, Terry? When you guys were at the top, I said you guys were imposters. You guys were just seat filling, and in that moment, you guys couldn't say to me with your chest that you're going to win the league. And right now, I just feel like every single time you guys drop points against teams that you guys shouldn't be dropping points against. I had Tottenham players in my fantasy team today. I expected you guys to beat these guys 4 or 5-0, which you guys didn't. And you know what? I'm actually quite happy. I don't really care about my fantasy team. All I care about is the rivalry. And the fact you guys lost or drew, that's more important to me than getting fantasy points. And right now, drawing against Fulham, to me, I feel vindicated every single time you guys drop points. And right now, I'm coming on Maya. I'm not coming to take shots at you. I'm not coming to take shots at you directly. But there's certain sets of fans that said Tottenham are going to win the league. Tottenham are going to get ready after the Spurs Liverpool game. There's people with drafts ready to post that they're going to win the league. After the Leicester game, ready to post that they're going to win the league. And you know what? To all you guys, I'm happy. And I'm laughing at you guys today.
I've never been part of that. I don't associate with those fans. Igal, we've spoke multiple times on this topic, and you know that I've never directly said Tottenham are going to win the league. I've said I'm never going to rule Tottenham out. I think that's me saying that Tottenham could maybe get relegated. That's me just saying that Tottenham are in it, not that Tottenham are going to win it. And I think that sat here right now, they still are. I'm not saying we're going to win it. So I'm reiterating for a fifth, sixth, seventh time, however many times I've said it, we're in it. We're not going to win it. So anyone can come and quote me whenever they want, because
final question for you: are Tottenham still better than Arsenal?
It doesn't mean shit if they don't win nothing.
So yes, he just said yes.
Answer the question, Agal. Yes or no?
What? Have you won anything? Have you done anything to
question?
Agal, it's a yes or no question. Or it's Arsenal or Tottenham. Who is better right now, Arsenal or Tottenham?
We're all in the same position, technically. Neither of us are winning the league.
Why am I hearing words that aren't Arsenal or Tottenham? Agal, who is better?
It doesn't mean nothing until you win something. And if you guys win something, that's what proves you're better than somebody. Winning something, winning trophies, and getting accomplishments. No. Let's be honest. Last year, where did you guys finish? And what did you guys accomplish? In the record books, people are going to remember that Arsenal came back and won the FA Cup last year. They're not going to remember that you guys were higher in the league.
Igal, that isn't the question. Right now, in your opinion, just say one of the two teams. Who is the better team? Arsenal or Tottenham, in your opinion, which of the two is a better team? If you think it's Arsenal, say Arsenal. If you think it's Tottenham, say Tottenham. Which of the two? Please answer.
I'm ready to argue on whichever one you answer. So
I will tell you now, in the position that we're in, Tottenham are in a better position than us. But right now, it's no one can determine who's the better team.
Yes, you can. Hang on a minute. Yes, you can. Who's the better team?
This season is not over.
Alex, not over. No, listen. Who's the better team, Burnley or Bayern Munich?
Obviously, Bayern Munich, because they've won numerous league titles consistently.
No one's won nothing this season. Who's been the better? You know who's the best team? Who's the better team, Liverpool or Southampton this season?
This season, Liverpool have been the better team.
You answered it twice now. So this season, Tottenham or Arsenal, who's been the best team?
Tottenham have performed better than us.
You just need to say Tottenham.
The better team.
Tottenham have performed better than us.
You just need to say Tottenham.
Tottenham have performed better than us, but they're not a better team than us.
Yes, we haven't won anything. Yes, admittedly, but we just need to say Tottenham.
We can look at it from a few different angles, and whichever angle we look at it, Tottenham are going to come out on top every time. Who's higher in the league? Who's got the best players, player for player? We're not talking about trophies, Agal. We're not. We're talking right here, right now. Who is the better side? There is no argument that it is, in any way you look at it, Tottenham.
So you're telling me a League Cup is going to do better?
It doesn't matter.
You're better than us. You're telling me that if we win the League Cup, we're better than you. Come on,
if you win a League Cup,
honestly, stop wasting my time. Stop wasting my time.
If you win a League Cup,
stop wasting my time.
No, Alex, you're not letting me answer the question.
Wasting my time. This is a waste of time. This is like food and drink for me, mate. You know what I mean? Like we've been above you for the last 4 seasons. Not like it really matters anymore, because I want to win the league. You know what I mean? I don't want to just be above
Arsenal. Still have to play tomorrow. Listen, Alex, all due respect, Arsenal have to play tomorrow. If we win tomorrow versus Crystal Palace, right?
If we win tomorrow,
there's a 4-point gap. There's a 4-point gap. Every week that we win, we're closing that gap. And as of right now, you guys have been laughing. You guys were title contenders. If it gets to a point where Arsenal is closer to you than you are to the league title, you have to then concede. Say, hey, it's more possible. There's more of a possibility than us overtaking you than there is for you guys to win the league at this point.
You know what I'll say? Sorry, Maya. What I'll say is this: I'm pretty sure Maya will come on here if Arsenal finish above them in the league and say you've been better than us this season. There's no doubt about it. Like, that will happen. But if you finish on the same points but less goal difference than them, they're better than you. The league does not lie. After 17 games, the order it's in, from 1 to the bottom, they've been the best of the worst teams. The end of the season, it's the same thing. Once you go past about 10 games, it starts to level out. That's it, bruv. Just take it. Right now, Man United are the best team in the country. Doesn't mean we're going to stay there, bruv. Like, I ain't mad. There we go. Listen, everyone who's come on today, thank you. Please smash that like and share button. Alex, it's always a pleasure. Igal, thank you. Maya, it's always great to have you on the show. Everyone who's tuned in, cheers. Make sure you go and sign up to the Discord server. The Liverpool Man United preview start from tomorrow as well. 5 p.m. we're going live. It's going to be a madness, I'm sure. And we've got a couple of announcements coming up, a brand new sponsor that we're going to have on board with the Football Terrace. All of that is coming out from tomorrow. And we have another massive announcement along the way. Football Terrace is getting to new levels. It's not going to look any different, sound any different. We're just going to be basically everywhere, bruv. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. But until then, take care of yourselves, everybody. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all